In the seventh inquiry, called Nalagiri, we hear about how the elephant Dhanapalika was sent in order to kill the Buddha. In the past, it seems, the Buddha-to-be, who was an elephant's groom, rose onto an elephant and, seeing an independent Buddha walking on the highway, said, "Where is that shaveling going?" And being angry and stubborn, he assaulted him with his elephant. Having undergone suffering in the lower realms for countless thousands of years through that deed, he became a Buddha in his last state of existence. After Devadatta had become friends with King Ajatasattu, he said, "Great king, after killing your father, you will become king, and after murdering the Buddha, I will be the Buddha." After having this thought, one day, with the king's permission, he went to the elephant stall and gave this order to the elephant groom: "Tomorrow, make Nalagiri drink 16 pots of liquor and send him out when the Gracious One is walking for alms." There was a great uproar in the whole town, and they said, "We will see a battle between the noble Buddha and the noble elephant." And having set up terrace stands on both sides along the royal highway, they assembled in the morning. The Gracious One, after tending to his bodily needs, entered Rajagaha for alms, surrounded by the community of monks. At that time, in accordance with the order that had been given, Nalagiri was released. He came, making all scatter at the crossroads and so on. Then a certain girl, being seized with fear, ran from street to street, and the elephant, having seen that girl, pursued her. The Gracious One said, "Nalagiri, you were not sent to kill her. Come here." Having heard that sound, he ran right at the Gracious One. The Gracious One suffused beings without end in the measureless universe with loving kindness, and he also suffused Nalagiri. Being suffused with loving kindness by the Gracious One, he lost his fear and threw himself at the feet of the Gracious One. The Gracious One placed his hand on his head. Then the gods and deities, their minds marvelling and wondering, worshipped him with fragrant powder and so on. The whole city became filled with a heap of wealth knee-deep. The king had the drums beaten and said, "The wealth up to the west gate is for the town dwellers. The wealth up to the east gate is for the king's treasury." And they all did that. Then Nalagiri gained the name Dhanapala, and the Gracious One returned to the bamboo monastery. Therefore it is said, "Before I was a Mahout, while a supreme independent sage was wandering for his alms food, I struck him with my elephant. Through that deed and its result, elephant Nalagiri, swaying violently, rushed at me in the city of Garibbajar." In the sixth inquiry, called Pierced by a Splinter, we hear about how he was struck by a splinter. In the past, it seems, the Buddha-to-be was reborn in a certain family, and while playing on the main street during his childhood, he saw an independent Buddha walking along that street for alms and thought, "Where is this little shaveling ascetic going?" And taking a splinter of stone, he threw it at his toes. After cutting the skin on the toes, blood flowed forth. Through that wicked deed, after undergoing great suffering in Nirya hell for countless thousands of years, he became a Buddha. Because of the connection with that deed, he was struck with a stone splinter on his toes and blood flowed forth. Therefore it is said, having become a boy in the past, while playing on the highway, seeing an independent Buddha on the road, I threw a stone. Through that deed and through its result, here in this my last existence, Devadatta tried to kill me by employing evil bandits.